Hi, everyone. Welcome to Weekly Affirmations for Creatives, week 27. I'm Michelle Tracy Berger, and so happy that you're joining me today. I offer an affirmation every week to help us practice useful and affirming and engaging self-talk, because the one thing we can control are the things that we say to ourselves. Cannot believe we're in week 27, and my affirmation for you is: as I write, I name my fears. It is safe for me to create. As I write, I name my fears. It is safe for me to create. As I write, I name my fears. It is safe for me to create. Let's dig into this affirmation. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I talk a lot about the importance of being grounded as a creative person and being feeling safe in our bodies. A lot of times, negative patterns of perfectionism, procrastination often means that we don't feel safe to be an artist. We don't feel safe to be successful. We don't feel that we're worthy. So a lot of those emotions get wrapped up. So the second half of that affirmation, it is safe for me to create, is vitally, vitally important. So one of the ways we can attack this feeling of not being safe. So we could say we are not feeling safe to create if we are often delaying finishing our projects, if we are less visible as creatives, if we're not submitting our work, if we're not talking about our work, we're not sharing our work. Those are some signs that we're not feeling safe to create. So I like to think of this attacking some of those feelings and way patterns of being. I like to think of this as our inner artist work. And there's lots of ways to explore and interrupt patterns of not feeling safe. If you looked at some of my other work on this channel, I've talked about emotional freedom technique or tapping, which is like acupressure for your meridians, um, and sort of allowing that bodily release that we may be holding on to unconsciously. There's also journaling. There is the Artist's Way work by Julia Cameron, which is an amazing 12-week program. It's a book and lots of resources about sort of feeling supported, being a creative person. There's lots of different ways to attack this these set of unhelpful behaviors. So the first part of that affirmation, as I write, I name my fears. I've also talked about a wonderful technique by Daisy Hernandez. She's an amazing writer, and she talks about keeping a fear journal. So that literally, as you're writing, you keep a small journal just dedicated to naming your fears as you're writing. So as you're writing, you might hear, um, "This is not going to be successful." And that turns into a full developed fear around whatever you're trying to create. So you just write that down. And she advocates this because it's about seeing our fears as separate from ourselves, right? So a lot of times when we're in a fear or negative cycle, it's hard to separate that feeling of like we are this thing. When you're writing it down, you're externalizing it and you're giving it a place to land, and you're not then giving it more power to drive your actual creative process. I am hoping this lands for you. I'd love to know about how you utilize ways and techniques to feel safe. And if you've really ever thought about what it means to feel safe and to create out of that safety, I think it's a powerful place to explore. Please let me know how this lands for you. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. That always helps the algorithms. Subscribe to my channel. I always have fresh content for you around the creative process. Stay inspired, and I'll see you next time.